Hey, yo, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Concrete Reality TV, where we strive to know more and do more with what we know. I'm L from Acapella.
I'm OG2.
It's your boy Cutter.
Okay, Fred.
We got a hot one coming at you. We got Tails. Guilty or not guilty? We gonna get into it. Let's play the intro.
Concrete Reality.
Y'all ready for this?
Come on, man. Bring it on.
All right, so we got social opinion hour. We finna go in. We gonna judge this thing. We're gonna look at the facts, and we gonna figure out if he guilty or not. We gonna start with Cutter. Guilty or not guilty?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
OG2, man. Guilty or not guilty?
Well, since Cutter is backing up and I want to say what he thinks, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you I don't think he's guilty.
Okay, Fred, guilty or not guilty?
Oh, man, you already know, K. Fred. I'm going to roll with OG2. You already know we rolling not guilty over here. Not a game.
Okay. Well, with me, I think...
Guilty! That is guilty!
Hit him with Uncle Ruckus. Hit him with Uncle Ruckus.
We're going to jump right into the facts, man. Kills. Weeks ago, they released the verdict in Chicago that said he was guilty. But it ended up being a decision that's going to coincide with his existing sentence that he's already on from New York. I'm going to play a little bit of a news snippet so we can kind of have some facts to discuss. So here we go.
And Jim and Marie, as you said, essentially a 31-year sentence, an additional year tacked on to his 30-year sentence that came down from a federal judge in New York. Kelly's attorneys, they wanted closer to a 10-year sentence, and prosecutors in this case, obviously, they wanted closer to 90, which was the maximum in this case. And you mentioned it before, Marie, but today he was sentenced on convictions for child pornography and enticement of minors for sex. Those charges stem from sex abuse with his goddaughter, who was referred to throughout this trial simply as Jane.
Could you describe the events leading up to the shooting of the video?
Yeah, he asked if he could pee on me, and I said for sure. I mean, it's R. Kelly, the Pied Piper of R&B. I've been peed on by guys who don't even have record deals.
Again, prosecutors, they wanted a 25-year sentence, rather, for this to be served in addition to his 30 years. So federal prosecutors got far from what they wanted, with only one additional year being tacked on to his sentence that he got in New York. If you remember that New York case, those were convictions for federal racketeering and sex trafficking.
So there we go, man.
Right there.
A lot of facts, man. We got the basis by which we can draw conclusions. I guess we'll start with you, OG2. I mean, you said not guilty, so what are you?
Not guilty. So my thoughts are what he's convicted of. He was convicted of the RICO Act. That's what he was convicted of. So we talk about the RICO Act, and the RICO Act is, they don't really have to prove that you did it. They just got to prove that you was associated with the people and that they work for you allegedly, or they were involved in you in some kind of way to make criminal activities in your name.
Okay, Fred, you said he was not guilty. Curious about some basis by which you stand upon your opinion.
What makes him different than Woody Allen? What makes him different than Elvis Presley? What makes him different than Hugh Hefner?
He black?
Right. What we're talking about outside of his color is a history of what we're talking about, which is pedophilia. I mean, that's what you're talking about. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. Sleeping with underage boys or girls. Okay. So my question still stands. What makes him different? Because this has been a history, especially within the entertainment industry, going back into the 70s. But now, all of a sudden, you know, he's the one that's hosted in the limelight.
You know, what makes him different from them dope boys who be in front of this high school picking up young girls when we were growing up? What makes him different from them?
We don't.
Hey, I'm just saying.
We don't.
Or
talk
what makes it different? I mean, what makes it different all the way around? Because we know it's something that exists in society, right? Whether you're talking about trafficking young girls, whether you're talking about sleeping with underage girls, whether it's a 20-year-old with a 17-year-old, right? She's still technically underage, even though it's a 3-year gap. Now, we were justified when she hit 18, and he may be, 3 years older than 18, 22, whatever. That's cool. We it's okay now. The age has changed. We got a couple more years on it.
What about you, Cutter? What you thinking on this?
The accountability part is really what touches me, is because of the fact that there are no out of all these women, I'm sorry, grown ass women now, when they were of age, the people behind them, which is the parents, none of them are incarcerated. None of them were charged with anything. No neglect, nothing. Last I checked, when your child is in danger and you're responsible for that child, they come and get your ass. Mm-hmm. Last I checked. So all these parents who were sending their daughters over to, and they admitted it. I watched the documentary. They admitted taking their daughters over there to the studio to be with R. Kelly. They admitted leaving their daughters there with R. Kelly. None of these parents were convicted of anything. They were never charged for anything, none of that shit. So my thing is, if they can go back and charge R. Kelly for some things that he may or may not have done to these young girls, why can they not go back and charge the parents for neglect or possibly even selling their daughters to R. Kelly? Because from what I understand, the reason why they allowed their daughters to be over there was because R. Kelly was giving some of the money. Nobody talks about that though.
We're gonna go back a little bit because I want to give the viewers a more solid foundation of kind of what this is, because most people, like most of us, thought that R. Kelly had gotten convicted for basically statutory type charges, molestation,
child porn, yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, but no, that's not what he was convicted of.
That RICO Act.
Yep, what he was convicted of, I'm going to share my screen. The singer, whose full name is Robert Kelly, is not charged with rape or assault in that New York case that took place. But prosecutors are allowed to present evidence of any kind in mind that, and that key word, any potential crimes related to the racketeering charge, regardless of when the racketeering is what he was charged of. On September 28, 2021, the jury, New York jury, found Kelly, whose full name is Robert Sylvester Kelly, was the ringleader. Keep that word in mind, ringleader of a violent and coercive lured women and children for him to sexually abuse.
Can you repeat that, please? Can you repeat what you just said? I want that to be loud and clear.
So that's the same thing that happened to Thug right now. The young Thug.
Was the ringleader of a violent and coercive scheme that lured women and children for him to sexually abuse. Along with 8 counts of sex trafficking, Kelly was found guilty of racketeering, a charge normally used against organized crime associations.
So they basically were saying he ran a mob or a organization or a cult like organization that lured young women into sexual activities, to whatever he was doing with them, taking them here and there, traveling with them. So in that case, shouldn't they go after all these rock stars, all these rappers?
I got a question.
R&B singers that have groupies that they take from state to state.
I don't know how you lure the willing, I don't know how that happens. I'm just saying, I don't know how you lure the willing, because R. Kelly was famous beyond famous. And we know, as men, we know when you have a little fame, these trying to get with you because they want to say, yo, I f***ed R. Kelly. Yo, I'm just saying. We just having conversation, y'all. We having grown people conversation.
Well,
I'm going to turn it the other way.
Okay.
All right. If I'm 17, 16, and I go to a Janet Jackson concert, and Janet invite me backstage, and Janet want to give me a little something, I'm taking a little something. You can't rap the Willie.
He said, you can't rap the Willie.
Okay.
Wait, we're going to go back a little bit because I want to dig into how this got to this point, because that's how we got to the racketeering charge. So how in the hell did he get here? You started at 2001. We're going to go back a little bit further. We're going to start
1994.
1994.
Back and forth in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Back, forth.
He was 27. She was 15. They had a secret ceremony in Chi-Town. Of course, we know how that turned out. For the rest of her career, Aaliyah dodged questions about the nature of her relationship. When people asked me, I tell them, hey, don't believe all that mess. She told one interviewer, we're close, and people took it the wrong way. So Aaliyah never copped to marrying Kales, even though we know it happened.
Ever.
He was sued for emotional distress by Tiffany Hawkins in 1996. She says that personal injuries and emotional distress she suffered during a 3-year relationship with the star. So now we got bad relationships that are being used in court to try to get some sort of monetary reprieve. I forgot what happened.
Yeah, thank you.
Woman says she had no knowledge of the accusations. In the court document, she said she began having sex with Kelly in 1991 when she was 15 and he was 24. And the relationship ended when she turned 18. According to the Chicago Sun-Times, Ms. Hawkins sought $10 million in damages, but accepted a fraction of that amount, $250,000, when the case was in 1998. So he settled out of court to shut up. We're going to go ahead and move forward. April, May, 2000, more court cases. Kelly is sued by Patrice Jones, a Chicago woman who claimed he impregnated her when she was underage and that she was forced to have an abortion. Scroll down to the bottom. The singer settled both cases out of court. So it's two of them. Motina also sued Kelly, alleging that he videotaped them having sex without her knowledge. The recording was allegedly circulated on a sex tape sold by bootleggers under the title R. Kelly XXX. So he settled both of those cases out of court, paying undisclosed sums in return for those NDAs. June 2002, charged over child abuse videos. We remember them very vividly.
Hello. Yes, this is Robert Kelly. Yes, the singer. You want my social security number? Sure. It's 916-34-7865. Okay. God bless.
In 2004, arrest prompts further charges. Kelly was charged in a further 12 counts of producing child sexual abuse images in Florida, where he was arrested at his Hollywood holiday home.
Who taping all this? They need to be slapped. And all need to be. Who the hell taping all this?
Hey, they
didn't go to jail.
I guess Kales,
he had a problem. I'm sorry. Let me go back. He didn't have it. He had a kink. He had this
little fetish.
That little fetish that he had.
Hey,
I'm sure he ain't the only one. It's a lot of white people.
Yeah, he ain't the only one.
They call him cuckold. You can find him on any porn site. But go ahead.
We get to 2000 and let's get to the cult, the allegations. 2017 allegations of a cult. Long and detailed BuzzFeed report accused R. Kelly of trapping 6 women. Remember, the 6 women being trapped went on their surviving R. Kelly. Sex cult. That came out. The allegations came from 3 former employees and the parents of several women. Their daughters had all but vanished. 2018, hashtag mute R. Kelly. So hashtag mute R. Kelly, staff departures and new court case begins. They coming after him harder. So 2019, that documentary leads to charges. The one that you had referenced earlier, documentary Surviving R. Kelly, presented the most comprehensive look at the allegations against the musician. 2 weeks after the program was broadcast, Kelly was dropped by his record company. Planned concerts in the U.S. and New Zealand were canceled. So that's when it got real ugly. That's when he did the video, sat down with Gail.
Y'all quit playing. Quit playing. Robert. I didn't do this stuff. This is not me.
It gets ugly. July 2019, that's when they hit him with the sex trafficking charges. So he had gotten out of the previous cases, remember? And then this is where the RICO charges come in. RICO charges, they are used for a particular reason. When we can't get you on the shit that we think you doing or we're accusing you of doing, but we can't get you because we don't have enough evidence to get you,
right?
We're going to concoct a RICO charge, which means that we're going to basically turn you into a organization. We're going to create a business entity. Hey, Fred, we're going to create a business entity without your permission. So now we're going to create
rkelly.com.
Yes. Use that to make you the CEO over. And we're going to use that. We're going to create a fictitious entity for you, make you the CEO. And then we're going to prosecute the members of the company. The members of the company are what you mentioned, Cutter. All of those people that are bringing allegations, all of the angry exes, all of those are going to be treated like ex-employees. And we're going to bring them into court, and we're going to hit them with charges that they can't get out of. We talking about 20, 30 years that we're saying that because you work for this organization, this criminal organization that was breaking the law, we're going to prosecute you and we're going to convict you because you're a part of the R. Kelly criminal organization franchise that he's the kingpin over. And then, unless
you tell.
So we're going to get you to
don't matter what you tell. As long as you tell it against him.
My girlfriend was responsible for 90% of my New York case. But the problem was she was still loving and supporting me. They needed her to be mad at me, hate me, become scorned. They can get her to say anything they wanted her to say about me.
So now we're going to go after you indirectly through your former employees, exes, all these, homeboys that you pissed off, or hell, we just hitting up people that we think can talk, and we can flip them. And then next thing you know, they start flipping on you. So now you got a whole bunch of people that become enemies of you without you even knowing it. Or, you might know it. It don't matter. They flipping them. And next thing you know, you're going to get convicted based off of the RICO charge, meaning that you are the kingpin, the leader over a criminal organization.
But on some level, if I'm looking at it from the eyes of a prosecutor, right, as you go through all those previous cases dating all the way back into the 90s, right, it kind of gives you that same allure. I mean, if you go back and look at it, these are all different states, right, that these incidents has happened in. There's history of him paying off women for undisclosed or disclosed amounts, right? So that shows history. You know that he's a movie star, or a star, so he's a rock star. So they on the bus, and all it takes is, one of the other guys, which they do, hey man, I got 6 girls that want to go with us, and we going from Chicago to Tennessee. And they load them underage girls on the bus, and they take them along, and they do what they do. They record it, they don't record it. Some speak out, some don't. But from what I see, it's just a history. You know what I'm saying, of the same thing that they finally culminated this whole story off of racketeering.
They didn't have to go back and look hard.
Nope, not hard either.
Out there. Yeah,
it was all documented. Yep. So it made it easy.
Yeah, exactly.
If I want, and I'm gonna go back what K. Fred went about. I'm the prosecutor, and I want this guy. I'm like, look, we gonna get him by any means necessary. And you got some cutthroat prosecutors out there who are willing to go. I mean, we've seen documentaries over the years. They are willing to go illegal if they got to get you. Because
I watch Law and Order.
I mean, they behind the law. When you're behind the law, You can do whatever you want to get your whoever it is. You can do whatever you want, but why? Because you're the one behind the law. You're the one that can use these resources.
Mm-hmm. You got unlimited resources.
Come on, man. That's what he was just saying over the phone.
Let's look at the definition of this racketeering thing, just to touch on it. The RICO Act. It came out 1970. The Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, aka RICO, of 1970. Seeks to strengthen the legal tools and evidence gathering by establishing new penal prohibitions and providing enhanced sanctions and new remedies dealing with the unlawful activities of those engaged in organized crime. So as you mentioned before, what you said, they couldn't get you.
Nope.
Using the existing conditions of the law. And as you mentioned, that was, of course, that started in the 1930s when they were going against the alcohol prohibitions and stuff like that, speakeasies and such. And then, of course, when it got worse with the mob, the Italian mobs on the East Coast, they said they were losing because they were bringing in these low-level guys, and these low-level guys were getting hit with these sentences, these 5-10-year sentences, and they're like, I'd rather do my time, and I know my family's gonna take care of me when I get out, and they're gonna protect me while I'm in, so I can do 7-10 years, or I'll get out for good behavior 5 years, and I'm good to go. I'm not gonna do that. So the government said, hey, we're not gonna do that no more. We need to have some sort of stronger stronghold on this. So they got approval to implement these new laws where they could fight fire with fire. It started working, and they were able to put forth these aggressive measures. It was all labeled under this RICO Act, and they call it this new stronghold on crime. So it's not illegal. What they did was change the law in order to go after the illegal. It is what it is. They make it broad and abstract in order for them to pigeonhole you in there somewhere. We don't know what you did. We couldn't get you for the shit that we thought you was doing. So what we
gonna make some shit up.
Yep, and we gonna throw it under RICO. You racketeering, you're a crime headship kingpin over this large organization for doing the shit that we can't get you on, and we gonna bring in all of the evidence that we were throwing at you when we were trying to get you on those individual charges, and we gonna hit you with these same charges, but we gonna slap it under this RICO Act.
So what you're really saying is that there's a narrative that's created. Okay. And then what I'm going to go do is I'm going to find as much as I can to support the narrative.
Yep.
And as long as I can find and twist the perception of it, of any evidence that I find to fit the narrative, then therefore there's your guilty.
Pretty much what you just explained, because you're already guilty. We just have to fill in the blanks.
Yeah, so we got to create a narrative to support why we want you to be guilty.
Yeah, right. And that's what happened. That's what they've been doing. It's been working.
Same thing they did to Big Meech.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. I was just about to say that. Same thing they did to BMF.
Yep. We couldn't prove it, but guess what? We got this shit called RICO.
Yeah, we're gonna throw everything in there but the kitchen.
Before you know it, everybody gonna be talking.
Yep. Ain't nobody finna do no 30-40 year stints. They not finna die in prison for that. And that's what the mob started having issues with. The mob could no longer strike fear into their subordinates. The government was striking fear into the subordinates. Right. They wasn't scared of the family no more. Hell, I'm gonna die in prison. Well, they're
gonna send me away for 40 years. Hell no, I'm telling on all y'all ass.
And that's what started happening.
When everybody started telling, the bosses started telling.
Yep, bosses started telling. Hey, it is a family that exists. Because remember before, they were hiding the families. Hey, right. Family don't exist. It's our thing. You know, it's our thing. It doesn't exist. But then when they start hitting with this new RICO Act, all of a sudden, hey, the mob starting to exist. We starting to get pictures and colors and all this vivid scenery on who's the head and who the family and the blah, blah, blah. They snitching on everything and it crumbled. And to this point, you know, now they're using it against, other acts such as Rkelly. Kelly got caught up in this thing. He ain't coming out. I'm telling y'all now.
They not coming out. He gonna die in prison.
RICO, bruh, you done. So he can say all the shit he want to. It's over. They got.
I ain't seen nobody come out of prison after they've been charged with RICO.
I read something earlier that was saying that basically that would defy all the odds if R. Kelly was to get released because of how they got him.
Big Meech is still in jail. That boy been in jail for so long.
I mean, once they got you on that, it's pretty much it's a done deal. Because they know, okay, once they say RICO, if I'm in that position, oh well, mama, that's it. I'll let y'all.
Unless you snitch and you get a deal.
Yeah, I'll get a deal. But even if you snitch, you still
going to jail. You still gonna get time at least 10 years, and you might die in prison for snitching. So you really got to be careful.
You got to be in PC. You ain't going to be in gym pop. When you get out, you're probably gonna be in protective custody or some government program that they got. You're probably gonna be somewhere in Alaska.
Your name's gonna be changed and your social security number.
All of this over sex
and scoring women.
Yeah.
God damn. I could be charged with the RICO Act. God damn.
Exactly.
That's why I said it. Go back. Anybody at this point. That's why everybody's trying to be so careful, especially when with T.I. And Tiny, they had those accusations that popped up about them. That boy was scared. I'd be scared too.
Yeah, because they hide brothers. They hide you. They gonna take you and hide you. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, any rapper or entertainer from back then who's had a history, or even if they don't have a history, you could just have a group of people that come against you to say, you know what, this dude, he this and that, woo woo woo, and next thing you know, you under investigation. They bum rushing your houses, your businesses, and all that stuff, and you better be legal. Even if that was back in the day, they can still bombard you with charges from bullshit, from whatever. At the end of the day, any entertainer is vulnerable.
It's a target. That's what happened. That's what's going on with Slim Thug. I mean, not Slim Thug, but Young Thug right now.
Yeah, I mean, but they actually these young dudes ain't doing no time. They snitching.
Yeah, they telling on you. They saying whatever.
Definitely snitching. But why wouldn't you? Because in the end, if you look at all of this, these entities that we have, these celebrities, they're easy targets. Because again, we don't understand when you become. I think we was talking about this last episode.
The famous, when you become famous. We was talking about it with FaZe.
Yeah, that's what it was. You become famous like that. Most people don't get it till it's too late that you are a entity. You instantly become a business entity.
Right.
You are no longer, if K Fred, Cutter, me, or OG2 becomes famous, you no longer just OG2 the person. You automatically become OG2 the business entity. You're a corporation. You ain't got to be official. You got content out there that people are purchasing. They're purchasing this product from you. You automatically become a business entity by which other people are going to be connected to you. So if you mess up, you messing up everybody money. It ain't just you. You messing up everybody that's involved, from managers to your financial advisors, family members that's eating off of you. If you record label, producers, all these people, you're affecting everyone, and they don't catch that to the end. But the government, they figured this out. They was like, hey, we could treat them just like just like a business entity. We can basically go after them as if they're a corporation, and then we can use all of these subordinates that are around them, surrounding them as these
witnesses.
Yeah, bringing in them as witnesses against them, and then they gonna snitch. And then we no longer have to go directly to you. We can use everyone that is connected to you in the business.
This is why modern day celebrities, if they have smart lawyers, this is what happens. If you go to my house and I'm a celebrity, you got to sign some paperwork to party with me.
Yep.
You got to sign
Jay-Z, Beyonce.
You got to sign an NDA to be in my company, in my personal space. You have to sign an NDA, and this is to avoid them from, hey, look, I'm suing you because I was da 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 da. Now I'm a welcome. You knew exactly what you was getting yourself into. I got the paperwork right here. You signed it. Get your ass on. I ain't giving you a goddamn thing, because at the end of the day, they know that they are a target. Now, not just the law for they're not just a target for the law, they're a target for being sued. And we saw that at R. Kelly's what we were talking about at the beginning, when the first young lady sued him and she got the $250,000. He should have took note. But when you get that type of money and you're famous, you got a whole bunch of yes people around you that ain't telling you, hey, look, we can't afford to do this, Kels. You got to get them young girls up out of here, dog. You know what I'm saying? Woo, woo, woo. They scared they gonna get fired. Hey, Kels, I can't go to the high school with you today, dog. I can't. I can't. Man, you fired then. Get your ass up out of here. All right, cool. Motherfuckers to lose their job. You know what I'm saying? So of course they gonna like, man, this dude here got a problem. They around here, they know he got a problem.
Yep. Somebody should have said something.
You a fan of R. Kelly? You want to help R. Kelly? Then get some counseling for R. Kelly. Introduce him to some older women. Hide his camcorder. But don't pretend like the man is a hero.
If we friends, I'm gonna be like, yo, dog, you can't do this, dog. You got to find some older women, dog. Shit, you got to go. You want to get some 18-year-olds.
Go back to Aaliyah. You know what I mean? By public opinion, we all knew back then. We like, ain't that 15? Right? So we knew back then, and you know how we do as black people. You know, we still gonna step in the name of love. You know what I mean? And nobody questioned it, but once again, it still goes back to my original question. Now, just from popular opinion, we knew that, just like they knew that Woody Allen, married his stepdaughter. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, this isn't anything new.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just makes me wonder, what was the purpose in making him the target? You know what I mean? And for me, you know, I always go back to the money. You know what I mean? Because there's a reason for everything.
Yep. So just to go down the list, because K. Fred, you touched on it, I thought that was interesting. We know about Elvis Presley. He Priscilla Presley was only 14 when she met the king of rock and roll, and he
Great Balls of Fire. The Great Balls of Fire on this list too.
Yep. Guy named Ted Nugent. He 17-year-old. What is it? Pele Massa has arrangement with her parents, so she got hooked up by arranged marriage.
Steven Tyler.
Steven Tyler, there he go. 16. Steven Tyler was 20. She was befriended by a 4-year-old woman who dressing her in revealing clothing and got them backstage at an Aerosmith concert. Holcomb's mother granted Tyler guardianship over her so that he could bring her on tour with him over state lines. Ooh, dang.
Ain't that Rico?
She sold him. Damn.
He ain't get hit with that Rico charge.
No, he's still walking around singing Jenny Got a Gun. Yep. Jenny got a gun.
We know Jerry Lewis, he married his 13-year-old cousin. That one was crazy. That was 58 though. They ain't have Rico out. That came out in 1970. And then we got Kels. And he married Aaliyah at 15 years old. Jimmy Page. Lori Maddox was 14. Page was 28. And then David Bowie. Yeah, at the age of 14, he was in his mid-20s, and now y'all probably didn't know this one. Watch this. Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, Gaye, his gal was 17, he was 34. Been going on, like you said, K. Fred. We know this ain't nothing new.
This ain't new.
It's just a matter of
they just pick and choose who they want to put this campaign on.
All right, so what we're talking about also, too, is we're talking about Western society, right? Now, if we go into other cultures, right, around the world, they give some of their daughters away at those ages, those same ages, right?
Right.
So, like I said, depending on where you at, I guess, in the benefit of it, it'll twist the perception. We deem these ages as inappropriate, okay?
Just they do it in Utah all the time.
Hey, man, I'm just saying. So, and then they base that under what? Religion, right?
Religion,
under their spiritual belief. You know what I mean? So once again, everyone's going to have their benefit on why or why not it should or should not exist. You see what I'm saying? And that goes back to the individual. But once again, you know, you can say that the girls are naive, you know what I'm saying, at 15, and they see the money, they see this, that, and the other. But I'm going, that ain't no difference than a bride that's 35, you know, that's at a concert, and she looking at the same thing that the young girl that's 15 to 16 is looking at. You know, this still goes back to a social construct. You know, I think from what we define as right and wrong, or what we define as criminal or non-criminal. And I think in this case, with R. Kelly, you know, we just went through a list of other people, you know, mostly all white except for Marvin Gaye, that have all done the same things. But he's the one that serves such a harsh penalty to live out the rest of his life incarcerated.
Ephraim, how much is R. Kelly catalog worth? And when you tell me, I'm going to tell you the story that I read. Go ahead.
Well, they say billions.
So at the time, R was suing the company because of the contract that he signed to get his catalog back. And they said he might have won.
I don't know, because the thing about it, though, he sold it out. Well, he signed it away. All of it was legal. And then he got, whenever you sign your rights away, your publishing, you get advances. So he took advance versus keeping the long-term points, which is on him. So
it's on him,
you know.
But I'm just saying, that's a story I read about it, that he was actually had a lawsuit going on against the company. And, you know.
I hadn't heard about a lawsuit. I don't know about the lawsuit, how true that is. I hadn't heard about it.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I read some stuff about it,
Whenever somebody says something about publishing, then always remember, they don't take your publishing.
You give it away.
You give it away. And you get money for it. So
and you get money for it,
don't let the whole people that don't understand the business try to deceive you.
No, that's why I was asking. That's why I was asking. Yeah.
He sold it away. Of course, he says he didn't know. He couldn't read. Now you got people that you knew.
You should have got a lawyer and then said no.
Lawyers to tell you that, hey, Kels, you don't want to do that, man. This is what's going to happen. This is what Michael Jackson's lawyers told him. Hey, look, they actually told him not to buy the Beatles catalog, and he did it anyway. And guess what? He won. He came up. I actually was watching something on TV, and they were just talking about how his lawyer was telling him not to do that, not to buy the Beatles, not to buy this, not to buy that. But he ended up doing anyway. And
now he did.
But still, at the end of the day, Kels, and I'm not going to go back on my original verdict of pleading the fifth. I said that originally because I didn't have all the knowledge, but now that I have all the knowledge, I would say I would agree that he's not guilty in the court of public opinion, but legally, that motherfucker guilty. Guilty.
Monopoly game.
I mean, it's the game that we play. He just didn't understand the game he was playing.
Have y'all seen the Tiger Woods case?
He got a case.
So Tiger Woods, his longtime girlfriend lived with him in his house, and Tiger wanted to break it off. So Tiger acted like he was going on the trip, changed all the locks on the doors, broke up with her at the airport, and now she's suing him for $30 million.
Hey, emotional distress.
That is right there. $30 million because he broke up with her.
If I don't know nothing else about people in this society, is when you got money, they coming for it.
So we got Cutter. You split your decision. Court of social opinion, he's not guilty. Court of law, of course, he's guilty.
He's definitely guilty.
Yeah, he's definitely guilty.
Where you stand on this? We got after all the facts.
as the RICO charge come, he's definitely guilty. How they got him, but as public opinion, I don't think he's guilty. You know, and just because he's doing the same thing the other 5 dudes did on the list, and yeah, well,
where you stand on this?
Oh, you know, Kurt don't change.
So free R. Kelly. You stand by the.
Hey man, step in the name of love, brother. Step in the name of love.
You gonna be stepping for a long time, man. You gonna be next album you gonna get is when he's 80.
Well,
so Chris Rock said something that was very interesting in his stand-up comedy. He said, you know, people have their own opinion about R. Kelly, but they still play Michael Jackson songs. I'm playing it all. It's entertainment. I can separate.
Go ahead, dude.
I can separate the man from the music because it's entertainment at the end of the day. So I don't understand why people. I ain't paying R. Kelly songs. Guess what? I got the whole 12 play album on my playlist right now. Let's go. I made some babies to them songs. Let's go. Let's get it.
Did they start watching movies that was produced or funded by Epstein and all them dudes? And not to mention, let's go ahead and wake this up.
Mm-hmm.
These I ain't gonna just put it on the white women, but these white women are notorious for this shit. Y'all walking around here sleeping with 14, 13-year-old boys, and they get 3 months, 6 months, if they get jail time.
They get on probation and a program.
If you want to, let's do a podcast on that too.
Again, make sure you guys support by liking and subscribing and sharing our content. We appreciate you being
somewhere over there.
Reality TV right there. And you already know I forgot where I stand.
Get out there! Get out there!
As you can see, I was raised in the streets. I ain't got a